From knocking down Miami Heat's Bernie during a promotional skit, to the Notorious possibly being on PEDs. Here's how Conor McGregor just sent a mascot to the hospital. Yep, you heard that right. Conor's been out of the fighting game for so long that he's taking it all out on NBA mascots. The NBA Finals game foresaw way more than what fans were expecting. Miami Heat and Denver Nuggets had one hell of a game, with the Nuggets taking home the final victory. The Heat didn't have a win by the end of the night, but they did have one mascot to take to the hospital. Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero weren't the only ones injured on game night. The Miami Heat's mascot, Bernie, took some blows himself. All thanks to McGregor, who brought MMA to the court. The MMA star was there to promote his new body spray title, which is now a Heat sponsor. He went on the court during a timeout when Bernie walked in wearing enormous boxing gloves. A fun promotional skit, right? Well, things went sour real quick when a left hook from McGregor sent Bernie crashing to the floor. And it doesn't end here. It looks like the Notorious had something personal against the mascot because he hit him again after poor Bernie fell to the floor. The giant bird was carried off the court by several men while Conor sprayed his new spray at him. I bet that's more than what the person playing the mascot signed up for. Yep, because the night ended with him paying a visit to the ER. McGregor's pain relief spray wasn't much use here. Come on, a punch from those hands did way more damage than a spray can cure. There's no denying that Conor is the hardest hitter in the UFC. The Athletic's Sam Amick reported that the person donning Bernie's costume was taken to the ER immediately. He was given pain medication, no, not Conor's spray, real medication, and sent home for recovery. Now it's crazy that not one person behind this promotional skit thought how badly this could end. Yep, Conor's been out of the MMA game for nearly 2 years now, but that doesn't mean you forget that he's a beast with those strikes. Conor's punches are brutal for professional MMA fighters, so who thought they were okay for a man in a giant bird suit? That's exactly what Dana White pointed out too. The UFC president blamed Miami Heat for letting McGregor beat the hell out of their mascot. Bernie's KO has been making a lot of buzz in the NBA and MMA worlds. So of course, White was going to share his take on the incident, and he's siding with his champion. You saw that coming, didn't you? White loves McGregor, but this isn't about Conor being his favorite. The UFC president is right for saying this was a bad idea in the first place, and no one should have agreed to it. While talking to the media ahead of UFC 289, White said, "What's up with mascots wanting to get punched in the face by professional fighters?" He's absolutely right. The promoter also brought up Deontay Wilder, who knocked out a hot dog-looking ESPN Nacion mascot back in 2018. I mean, it's obvious that you're going to end up with a lot more than a black eye if you let pro MMA stars punch you in the face. Dana said he wouldn't have ever let this happen because he knows it's not a good idea at all. Let's hope people at the Miami Heat took notes from what White said, because they found themselves in hot waters after a clip of Bernie getting one hell of a beating made the rounds online. Of course, the fans are going to feel sorry for the giant bird. I didn't know the Miami Heat mascot had this many fans before this incident happened, because a lot of people came to his rescue. NBA fans took to Twitter to send well wishes to the poor soul behind Bernie's costume. One wrote, "Mascots have it rough even with all that extra padding." Another said, "I really have no idea why the Heat did this bit." Yep, me neither. It's still hard to believe not one person thought it wasn't the best idea to parade Birdie out there. Poor guy. Some fans couldn't help but find the whole incident funny. One tweeted, "First NBA mascot with $1 million contract," while others talked about how Bernie can now sue Conor for millions. It'll just add another one to his long list of lawsuits. Many pointed out how this was going to be Mystic Mac's only KO again. Conor hasn't stepped into the ring since July 2021, when he suffered a gruesome leg injury. He's ready to make his comeback to the octagon, and many fans wonder whether he's still gonna have his form. Well, I can tell you one thing for sure, the one-punch knockout power is still there. Speaking of the MMA star, he said there was no bad blood between him and the mascot as they hugged it out. Of course, he's gonna downplay the situation after all those comments on social media. The Notorious told Adam Glide that the mascot's good. He went on about how it was a skit that went wrong, but all is well now. McGregor said he spent a lot of time with him afterward, and they talked it all out. According to other reports, he's all good to be back on his feet. Too bad the Miami Heat won't need him again since they lost the finals. The Notorious didn't make a public apology for taking it too far, but hey, as long as the air is cleared between him and the man behind Bernie. Conor's behavior has been raising a lot of eyebrows lately. Yeah, you're definitely in for many surprises here. I mean, he's known for being super controversial, but it's just way too much lately. Let's not forget about his now-deleted voice note for True Geordie. Conor's known for his straightforward and brash persona, but this was definitely some next-level shit. The Irishman verbally assaulted the YouTuber on Twitter, and his choice of words didn't sit right with fans at all. He went on for 40 seconds, fat-shaming Geordie and whatnot. Fans were quick to call out Conor after his concerning voice note that he deleted soon after. Many pointed out that his behavior has been very worrying lately. We all knew he had anger issues, but I had no clue they were this severe. Beating the hell out of a mascot, sending threats to a YouTuber publicly. That's not a very bright light on an MMA star who's trying to get back in the game. And no, it doesn't end here. He's also been hanging out with people outside of his demographic. Like, what business does he have partying with Kylie Minogue? This isn't a crossover episode, it's real life. Conor was seen partying with the Australian pop star when both stars attended the F1 Grand Prix on the French Riviera. I don't know about you, but this wasn't in my 2023 cards. Now, of course, there isn't anything wrong with these two partying together. But you know, the Irishman doesn't really hang out with pop stars. I mean, imagine him making headlines partying with Taylor Swift. It's gonna be weird, right? But at this point, I don't think that's far from possible. There's something off with the Irishman, and fans can't help but wonder whether he's on PEDs. It's not like it's really a stretch. All this behavior is leading up to that. McGregor's been super suspicious lately, and it has to be the PEDs. Hear me out. I'm going somewhere with this. Remember when I said Conor's been out of the octagon for 2 years? This also means he wasn't in USADA's drug testing pool. The perfect chance to be on steroids, right? I mean, what other explanation would there be for that insane body transformation? You can't possibly get that ripped while healing an almost career-ending leg injury. Speaking of the injury, it's crazy how it healed that quickly. Yeah, 2 years is a long time, but healing a broken tibia and fibula is no joke. Just ask Chris Weidman how he's doing. Weidman suffered an injury similar to McGregor's at UFC 261, which was before Mystic Mac's last bout, and he's still struggling with that leg. So something's gotta be up with McGregor going around like nothing ever happened. And before you bring up legal PEDs, there's no way you can gain all that muscle mass by taking those. This has gotta be it. I mean, it'll explain why Conor's been pissed on the internet lately. He can't possibly be waking up on the wrong side of bed every day. Plus, remember how the MMA star made such a big fuss about him joining USADA's testing pool again? He kept delaying it, and he still isn't in yet. Why else would he dodge getting tested by the anti-doping agency? It all adds up. So that's it, fight fans. From the Notorious possibly being on PEDs to knocking down Miami Heat's Bernie during a promotional skit. This was all for Conor McGregor just sending a mascot to the hospital.